Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Elizabeth, and for anyone who hasn't followed my channel before, I live in the central Chile and I have a small yarn store. I started by having sheep and goats, which I learned how to spin their fiber with, and that got me interested into knitting and yarns and led to me opening a yarn store. So I thought I'd just show you what I've been working on the past few weeks. If you've seen any of my videos, a couple months ago I went on a road trip and I was working on this sock, which is Katya's symmetrical design, where you just follow you just keep knitting and the patterns come up on the sock. So I did this to show, because it's a yarn I have in my store, and I left this in the store as a display. So about a week ago, we had my daughter was on kind of quarantine because the cases of COVID in her class had gone up. So I decided not to go into the store and keep it closed, just to keep everyone safe. And I started knitting the second sock. So I started knitting the second sock. And the notes that I had, because I was on a road trip, I passed a piece of paper where I'd written some of my notes to my husband. And he used it for something else. And so when I cast on for the second sock, I didn't realize that I'd used a different size needle. So I think this one I was actually following the instructions, and I'm doing it with these little tiny needles, so I'm knitting in the round, and I'm using a 3.5, I think, which is what the instructions say. Whereas with these, I was using, first I was using double pointed needles, and I think I must have been using a 4, and then I did magic loop. And you can actually see on these where the needles weren't joining up, where it wasn't doing the join very well. But you can also see how it's definitely smaller than this one. So, and I'm liking this a lot better, because when my husband tried these on, they seemed a bit loose when he tried this one on. So I may just continue with this one, because like I said, I liked it. And this was in the store, so I didn't have it to compare. And then when I went into the store and looked, it was much bigger. So I think I'm liking this better. So I might have to frog this and start again. I'll have to see. But I'm using the Chao needles on these. And it's very nice, because this is just a simple knit, just going round and round. And these are very fast. They're quite slippery. So it's easy just going round and round. I've also been trying to practice knitting with my left hand, because I'm a British knitter, so I think that's what it is. I use this hand for knitting. So I'm trying to practice with this hand, which is what most people here in Chile use. They knit with that hand. So I've been practicing that, since this is just a simple knit. Because the other thing I was knitting is, a long time ago, I knit for my daughter Mary Jane Mucklestone's Muckle Mitts. And I even got the original pattern I printed out. And when I got some new yarn into the store, I thought they would be great for doing the mitts with. So here's one of them that I've not quite finished. I have to do the thumb on it. And I practiced first with just plain black, because I wanted to see if I could remember how I did it and just make sure if there's anything that I wanted to change in it. And I actually did the thumb with a magic loop, like tiny magic loop, which I thought was nice, because when I did them for my daughter years ago, I used double pointed needles, whereas this time I'm using the Knit Pros denims, which I find for this kind of color work might be actually easier than using the Chao Gu, because these are so fast and slippery. Whereas with these, because the wood's a bit more sticky, it's I find that it held on a bit better. So I was able to control the color work, I think, a bit easier. Same with the ribbing. I was able to control the ribbing a bit easier. But they may feel a bit slow for just knitting in the round. But I'm really enjoying, and like I said, I was practicing using both hands, knitting with both hands. So I really liked that. So that's what I've been working on the past little while, and hopefully I'll be getting that finished soon. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll talk to everyone soon. Hello and welcome back. I thought I'd do a quick update. I'm here in my store. It is very sunny outside. I actually have my curtains down, but it is still really sunny here, which is nice because it's really cold outside, but very sunny, so I'm afraid the light's not that great here. But I'm here in my store and I thought I would share the mitts that I was talking about earlier in the video. These are the original first muckle mitts that I made, and I think on Ravelry it said I made these in 2012, something like that. This was 2 sheep's wool locally spun just south of here, and it was a gray wool, natural gray wool, and a white wool, which I then dyed with avocado skins. So that was my daughter's first ones that she had when she was living in the south, when she was at university, and she used these all the time, as you can tell. And then last month I made these black ones for my youngest daughter, for her at school, and just to kind of test the pattern again to get back into it. So you can see, just simple black, using the basic pattern. Hard to knit. I didn't realize how hard it is to knit with black yarn, especially with the tiny Knit Pro denim needles. They're a dark blue, and so I couldn't see the needle at all while I was knitting, and I had to redo things, and especially at night if I was trying to knit at night. It was terrible. It took me a lot longer to knit these than it should have. But there's those, and those are great for her for at school. And here are the ones that I was working on. And these are lovely. They are so thick and so warm. And I'm so happy with the way they turned out. Just love them. They are the Lanit's 100% Lanit is a superwash, which I've later realized it's not the best wool to use for stranded work, but we'll see how it goes. And I used, they're 50 grams, and I used almost a full ball, I have a little bit left over, of the pistachio, and I only used a little bit of the blue as my contrast color. So I still have this left to do something else. So really pleased, you know, just with practically one ball, and you get these lovely mitts. And I really enjoyed doing stranded work. It was, and I mean, it's hard trying to get my fingers to do both things, but I was enjoying it, and I'm hoping to do some more work. I've got downloaded a pattern of Ravelry to try and do a hat. So hopefully that will be my next project, and I will enjoy that as much as I enjoyed these. So thanks for stopping by, and if you have any questions or comments about me or Chili or my yarn store, just leave them in the comments. Ciao!